There's a lot of mathematics in music and you do theory. Music is physical education, so whether you're playing, singing, or not, it's an exercise. Music is a language, so anybody sitting in Aizawl or anybody sitting in Timbuktu or Tokyo or Shanghai, if they're given the music to read, they all can read the same music. It's one language, it's a universal language. Music is history, because we learn about a lot of composers and their different eras, so the higher you go, especially grade 6, 7, 8, the oral training is tough. They ask you, the examiner, you have a detailed discussion with the examiner about the composer they were playing with, so they want to hear that. Music is art. This is how we were brought up. Music is art, is an extracurricular activity, during music period, SPW period. Music is art. That's how we know music. Music is life. And this everybody should be able to answer. Tell me, why is music life?
Maybe create something out of that.
Exactly. So, for example, we finished our work day, had a tiring work day, or not a good day, the boss was screaming at us, or had a fight with your spouse or your parents, and we sit in the car, and what is the first thing that we do? What is the first thing we do when we sit in the car?
Listen to music.
Put on the music system. So that is life. So we can be asked, and why do we listen to it? Just not because we want, it just relaxes us. Okay? How do we celebrate music in the church? By singing hymns. I mean, for us, Roman Catholics, even the pastor, the father, he sings and he conducts the mass. If you're a Hindu, sing bhajans. In case if you have a birthday, how do we celebrate a birthday? By singing happy birthday. So you know, if it's a condolence meet, hymns are being sung. So you see, music is in all parts of our life. All parts. That's why we say music is life. Music is science. I will come to you later. Music has a lot of research has been done, so a lot of physics is connected with music. And a lot of our veins here is connected with music. I'll come to that, or maybe I can tell you now. I worked with many schools, public schools, and we had this professor, it's called the City Montessori Schools. It's the largest school in the world with 65,000 students. It's in the Guinness Book of Records, and their director, Professor Geeta Gandhi Kingdon, her children with the ABRSM, her son with the ABRSM, and he's now a doctor in the UK with a palatal care. Palatal care means, you know, when those people are really sick, there is no hope. They are in hospice, in a special hospital where you know you have only a few days or months to live. And his job is, of course, to take care of the patients, but to make them comfortable, to let it be a smooth, peaceful journey for the patient and the family. It's not easy for the family. Now, this is a live example. I'm trying to give you why music is science. This patient who had a brain tumor for the past 6 months, he had a few days to live. And he came to the hospital to stay, and he could not speak. So, forget speaking, he could not do E, R, O. So, this is a real story. If you pitch me, at least some noise will come out of my mouth. Nothing came out. So now this doctor, Dr. Arjun, and the patient in this UK hospice hospital, they exchange notes, because to keep him happy. What do you like to eat? What do you like to do? So he got to know when he was younger days, he was a big CEO now, no time. He used to like to play the guitar and sing. Okay? But after that he got no time because he became this big shot, no time for that, music. So he said, okay, next day, Dr. Arjun, he went and got his guitar. And they exchanged notes, what do you like? So he liked Boniem or ABBA, something like that. So whatever song they decided on, this doctor started strumming the guitar. As soon as he strummed the guitar, this patient, no E-R-O, nothing heard for the past 6 months, sang the entire song. Something connected, I don't know, I am not a science person. As soon as the song finished, he stopped strumming, again no E-R, nothing, silence. So something, music, what that's what I'm trying to say, it makes you feel nice, so something happens that it connects. These days, you know, we're learning about Alzheimer's. You see a person who patient of Alzheimer's won't even know that you are the mother, father, husband, wife, child, won't even know that this is a kitchen or this is a toilet. They'll be free for all, every weird things will be happening. But if an Alzheimer's patient has been a musician, a guitarist or a pianist, you give them that instrument. It is, you go in Google and check, they'll start, they'll remember that. So it is something that connects, and I know, you know, it has been researched. Music is reading, as we all know, you all are music teachers, you all are parents, and you have to read music. So which is why music nowadays in the world is no longer an extracurricular activity, but it is an academic subject, because we are reading, writing music, and playing. So music is reading. Now about ABRSM, as I said, we are a 150-year-old organization. We do exams in 90+ countries annually. We do approximately 650,000 exams all around the world. We have exams being done, say, from the America to Europe to Asia to Africa. Everywhere we have examiners. And when an examiner comes, you have examiners who would have done an exam maybe in America or maybe in Africa, and now they're coming to India. Our examiners are very well trained. Okay? For example, as I was talking about in my earlier meeting, there has to be Wi-Fi in the exam center, and they are marking you on an iPad. They're writing the comments in your report. And that iPad is connected to Wi-Fi, and that system is connected to 2 more examiners sitting somewhere else in the world, ABRSM examiners. And they have to hear, it's being recorded with what the child is playing or singing, and have to see if this examiner who's sitting here at Anika's place is doing the correct comments and marking. He's being assessed. Only when all the 3 examiners agree will the marks be published. So no hanky-panky can go on with the marks. You know how we get ready with the exam, give you 2 marks more, just pass, you know, something really understanding. It cannot happen. 2-3 years back in Bangalore, one of my examiners who was 70 years plus, with 35 years of being an examiner with the ABRSM. I'm giving you a background about ABRSM. He, our last day of exam is usually 19th December, and he said, wish you a Merry Christmas, enjoy yourself. He was with us for the past 6 weeks, so it's our tiring tour. Wish you all the very best, and have a great Christmas and New Year's. He says, no, Sonia, I'm nervous. 70-plus-year-old guy, clarinet player, 35 years being an examiner with the ABRSM. You know that when you are abroad, you have to, if you're a professional, be it an examiner, doctor, engineer, lawyer, you have to keep getting your license renewed. Like in India, if you're an engineer or a doctor, once you're that, you are there for life. You don't have to go renewal of life. So this guy, with all the experience and age, every 3 years, ABRSM makes the examiners do an exam in another subject. So he was nervous because he had to do his grade 8 piano exam. And he said, Sonia, I've had no time to work and rehearse because I've been doing your exams. So he said, I've not practiced, and first week of January, 10th or 11th of January is my exam. And I don't know, I'm going to This is the strength of ABRSM, which I could speak out there. Looking at all this, a lot of research has gone into from Stanford, MIT, Caltech, Singapore universities have got together and done research. What we say, why music? Music these days is manure for your brains. It's like cow manure for your plants. Because it makes both sides of the brains work. Now when we are writing, we are using right side of the brain. Even when we are reading, we are using right side. But music makes both sides of the brains work. I'll just give you a fine example. Which is why universities and schools worldwide have started incorporating the ABRSM curriculum within their syllabus. So it's like your maths and science and history subject. It's not an extracurricular activity. Do tell me in case I need to stop and you need to translate. Because especially, you know, in India, for example, the maths that we do, you all have gone through the Indian school system. Grade 8 maths, which we learn in CBSE and ICSE, in Singapore, Hong Kong, China, is taught in grade 4. Okay? I mean, I was not a fan of maths, but I'm just saying, if that had to be done, I would have definitely failed. You know? But why? How come we are all parents who will make sure the children get good food to eat, you know, good rest, that they do well? That is not enough. As I said, music is manure for your brains. It makes both sides of the brains work, and automatically your subjects become better. For example, I need you all to stand up for 1 minute, and I'm going to give you this exercise. I think it's easy, okay? Simple, nothing, no, I can't run, it's a simple. So we go click, top, out, in, top, out, in. So this is the right hand. We make the right side of the brain work. Now let's make the left side of the brain work with the same exercise. Top, out, in, top, out, in. Easy peasy. The left side of the brain work. But now we have to show you how musicians use both sides of brains. Okay? So it's going to be the same exercise but not synchronized. So you put one hand up, one hand in. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Do you understand what's happening? Do you understand what's happening?
Yeah.
So sit down. So this is what is music. It's making both sides of your brains work. You're playing different things with different hands on the piano. You're playing different things when you're playing the guitar. With the drums, you're playing different things. So it's the same thing. Using both of your sides of your brains, and your brains are getting that exercise which we need, which we get for physical education, and making us perform better in other things in life. Which is why many prestigious colleges, universities, and all are wanting this degree, the ABRSM degree. In India, many schools here, as we said, have understood this. There's the Woodstock School, Missouri. It's the oldest international school in India. The British school. Pathways, La Martiniere, I mean, a number, Harrow, Kodak. Many schools have started incorporating ABRSM curriculum within their subject. Now, all this we were talking about Singapore and Hong Kong, they do not allow another board to come in because our system, as I spoke to you about the examiners, how they mark, how they have to keep updating themselves, they know it's a very strong, solid foundation. Why spend so much of time, money and energy when you're going to be treated with a lower grade level, lower course? We need to make our foundation strong. This is ABRSM, which is why we are coming to you, that you all also start these exams, how it helps. Next. This is the scientific part of music. I'm going to read it out. I've left my paper in there, but I'll just go through this and I'm going to read out. No need to look at me. I'm going to read this out and tell you what it is all about. Yes, I don't like to say this, out of context, because in case if I leave out something, here you may need to explain. So, as I said, music is like manure for the brain. It enriches, nourishes, and stimulates growth. Just as manure nurtures plants to thrive, music enhances cognitive abilities, improves memory, and sharpens focus. It cultivates creativity, fosters emotional balance, and strengthens the mind's resilience. By engaging with music, we feed our brains with the essential nutrients needed to flourish in all areas of life. Which is why the schools in Singapore, Hong Kong, China have made it compulsory. It's like an academic subject. It's not like here, if you are only like music, you will do the music classes. No, there everybody has to do it like an academic subject. Playing an instrument or singing not only nurtures a child's talent, but also fosters robust brain development as both sides of brains are used, particularly in areas with hearing, memory, and motor skills. As children persist through the initial challenges of learning an instrument, they inadvertently refine their resilience and discipline. Each obstacle conquered, every melody mastered, contributes to a profound sense of accomplishment, thereby enhancing their confidence and self-worth. It's like making them do. They learn two notes, they come back and you learn one line, suddenly you learn the entire song and you feel so happy, I've done it, you feel so satisfied. Scientifically, it has been proven that music, this is which we saw in the first slide, I'm saying that here. Scientifically, it has been proven that music and mathematics share significant connections. Learning music involves rhythm, patterns, and proportions, fundamental elements in mathematics. Musical education can enhance mathematical abilities, particularly in pattern recognition, fractions, and spatial temporal reasoning. This interplay often leads to improved mathematical skills among individuals engaged in music learning. I gave you the example with the two hands. I gave you the example of that patient who was sick and how he could sing. Now the advantages of the ABRSM curriculum. I gave you the background of how our examiners are selected. Even our syllabuses are very well thought of and planned. That universities and organizations these days are looking at just not your academic marks. Like if you're going into a university for your bachelor's degree, they are not looking at your CBSE, ICSE marks with the 98, 99%, no. Even 60, 70% is okay, because if you are a 90+%, you will sit with your book in the library like a nerd and not contribute to the campus. And every college and university wants you to contribute to the campus. For example, I'm sitting here with a group of people who I do not know. From morning to evening I have to speak, and I should be able to do that. If I was a nerd, I would not have the confidence to just speak. We have to be all-round professionals of holistic education. Therefore, I remember a Stanford University admission officer speaking, I travel a lot, to me and saying, "Oh, Mrs. Khan, you Indians know how to inflate your CV when you are applying for admissions." I said, "Oh, how?" He said, "You do a little bit of chess, a little bit of art, a little bit of dance, a little bit of guitar, a little bit of swimming. What is this?" You know, so the example she's giving me, you know what children are. Oh, think when you were small, when I was small. We started this, we started chess, when it started getting too tedious and monotonous, the same thing and serious. "Oh, Mama, I don't want to do this, something else." Then we did art. We did art when it got boring. "Oh, I don't want to do it, I want maybe badminton," you know. Just think about it, seriously. They don't want, admission officers don't want to see that. Admission officers want to see something which has been done over a long period of time. It has taken 5, 6 years to 8 years. because that shows the mental stability of the that person is reliable and take it forward. And how they have grown. So just not become comfortable and stagnant in one place, but they have grown, they have taken their learning to another level. So like music, you start from prep test or initial, and you go to grade 8 and your diplomas. They want to see that. They want you to get out of that comfort zone, out of that box and move. Or the second thing that they want to see is the sports. Sports, now you've got to understand, if you want to go on an international level, sports, you go on a district level, state level, national level, Asian level, and sports, you all must be knowing it takes a lot of energy out of you. You will be doing 2 hours in the morning, 2-3 hours. I mean, most of the time, sports people give up education because there's too much time is going in the sports activity. And to reach the international level, it takes the life out of them. But here with ABRSM, right from the initial grade, the prep test, the first baby grade, you are on an international level. Okay. If you are till grade 3, even if you practice 20 minutes a day, even for 4 days a week is enough. Grade 5, if you want to do well, you make it to about half an hour something, you do better. Higher grades, you go do it for half an hour something. So you see, we are not saying hours and hours of practice. Yes, if you're doing diploma, then it would be nice to see you again.
Thank you. Yeah, it's raining. Sorry.
If you're doing the diploma exam, then of course, then you need maybe 1 or 2 hours of practice. But there is nothing which it takes, if you do it in a very systematic manner, you make it the child's, right from the beginning. The child gets used to, if they're eating a food or going out to play, they make it within their schedule. It's part of their life that they grow towards. So music is something which admission officers are looking at. I will again go through it because some of you have come in late. We will do a fast forward method, we just discussed. So this is what are the advantages of an ABRSM curriculum. If you have done the ABRSM exam, I'm saying grade 5 is also, but to get a scholarship like grade 8 to practical and theory, you can look for full scholarships even for engineering and medicine internationally. Even from India, AFMC, they looked at this and they gave the student, before the list came out, that you have got admission. Okay, so this is the advantages of an ABRSM curriculum where universities is concerned, where an organization after university will go and work somewhere. So be it a school, be it maybe in some engineering, maybe a Toronto Hydro or Facebook or Google or, Intel, AMD, anywhere. HR department is looking again at the same thing. They are looking at something which can be relied upon, which you have done. You have not got fed up and bored. Doing anything with passion, you have to be happy from within. You have to make yourself happy. Nobody else can make you happy. You have to have the interest. So they will see if you've done music, you have been, of course, it's not going to be a bed of roses. There must have been ups and downs and everything. So they see if you've taken it to that level, there is something in you which they should hire you for. So HR departments are also looking in companies and organizations at a music degree. 60-70% of people working in Facebook, Google, Microsoft, AMD are musicians. Okay? This is the advantage of the ABRSM curriculum. ABRSM, as we were talking about, no hanky-panky, as the examiner sitting here, 2 more examiners out there, it is being done and we are being assessed. These are our bodies which evaluate us all the time. They are checking us if something is going wrong. If this doesn't pass this test, we will not be a registered board. So this is what ABRSM is all about. I have spoken to you as a representative, sir. As some of you came in late, we were talking about the advantages of music, the ABRSM curriculum, how it is recognized globally and why. It's solid. There is no hanky-panky goes on. there for good, and it's not necessary that you will end up being a musician if you do an ABRSM exam. It helps you for your engineering, medicine, law, psychology, anywhere, just not in India, abroad also. Till now, I spoke to you as a representative. Now I speak to you as a parent. I'm a grandparent. And my children, one is 38, one is 34. And I'm an Indian mother, an Indian tigress mother. All mothers have to be that. And we wanted, for sure, my husband and I, that the children are going to do, I mean, our big babies, are going to do either medicine or engineering. We saw medicine was going to take a long time, we said engineering. Now, you know, in engineering, if you want the best colleges like IIT and all that, there is that rat race of the coaching classes and things like that. So we made sure, and I had a very good distant cousin of mine who is a career counselor. She said, Sonia, try and look for international admissions as well, as a safety net, because IIT is tough. You know, it's all rote learning out there. I have IIT graduates in my Delhi office. I tell them, go and, I don't have the time, go and give a presentation. Oh no, ma'am, I can't give you, you just go and do the presentation. They are more highly qualified than you. They don't want to do it. Okay, so this is what it is. So anyways, we as parents, we made them do their grade 8, they were violinists in violin, and made them finish the grade 8 in theory. We started them very young. When my son was 5 and a half, and daughter, I started young, 3 and a half. I'm a tigress mom. So by the time they were in class 7 and 8, their grade 8 was done. That certification, which I call fixed deposits, was kept aside. It was simultaneously with their CBSE, another degree they had earned and kept. And now, from 8th onwards, they could concentrate with their board exams and their coaching classes of that, you know, the Narayana and Virji and all that. So they did that. But as I said, I had a cousin who said, Sonia, think about the international admissions. I did a lot of research. And as I said, I'm an Indian parent, have to do engineering. So we applied for these universities. Now, my background is, my father was a Hindu, my mother was a Catholic, and I'm married to a Muslim Khan. So naturally, I'm Mrs. Khan. And my children's name is Jahangir and Jemina Khan. You know, for the terrorists, very wonderful names. So September 11th had just happened, and you know, husband and I got, I think so, I don't think so. They should go to, we should apply to the US because, you know, with the Muslims it was a very dicey situation. And they are not Muslims, they are baptized, but first communion, confirmation, all done, they're Catholics. But now they follow Buddhism, I just think. Anyways, so we did not send them, but the younger one was in, you know, how peer pressure. No, I have to do America, let me try America and all that. So I applied in the American universities also. Hers was a bit later. So I'm just telling you as a parent, I'm a middle class parent. And to study abroad, he's been to the US, it's around 40 to 45 lakhs. An undergraduate course in the US, Canada, and things like that. I don't have that kind of money. Because what I said, use this certification as your fixed deposit. They got in their 12th standard, they were not 98, 99 percenters. You know, now everybody's getting 98 and 99 percenters. They were not that. One was a 94 percenter, one was a 93 percenter. But they had this fixed deposit with them in the ABRSM degree. In the end, we decided we applied in many places, but in University of Toronto and University of British Columbia, my older one gave him full scholarship, means board and tuition fee, books, board and lodge, once a year airfare to come back home and go back there, and $1,000 per semester as pocket money. What could I ask for? The only thing I spent after the 12th standard was this suitcase as a mom with clothes. Naturally a laptop, first time going. In the end they gave them a laptop also, laptop. And of course their passport. That's all. I did not spend on anything. Daughter's time came, same thing. Daughter got into Stanford also, but as we said, we would prefer Canada because then we can work for 3 years out there, get your PR, get your citizenship, it's better. Today, my kid, when they went into the master, before masters, they worked. One worked in Toronto Hybrid, one worked at AMD, it's a company job in tech. And hardware engineers, and they all, now I told you it's about 45 lakhs. The percentage that is around, it comes to around 3 to 4 crores, 4 or 5 million. Master's degree is 6 to 7 crores. They needed to do that, they want to do their master's. I said, again, there's no way to see how you can do it, either you take a loan or something. Their offices where they worked paid for their master's degree. Really, I have, and why did they work? They saw they were good at their work, they got good marks, and again, fixed deposit of music. So they did their masters, and my daughter is 7, she's working with AMD, she's a nuclear engineer. Remind you, she's a Khan. She keeps the nuclear reactor in Arizona at a certain temperature. That's her job. And from Canada, because AMD office in Canada, they come with the escorts, they take her and her team to see it. Once in 2 months, they have to go and keep checking that out. Okay? I still told them, music has given you so much. Do something, go join the community orchestra or something, church or something. I don't have the time, Mama, because they're working, studying, everything, all that. I have to keep getting that. No time. So one day my son says, Mama, remember, I wanted to do my PhD in artificial intelligence cybersecurity. I said, yeah, so what happened? So he said, I got through. But how did I get through? Naturally, the undergrad degree, the master's degree, recommendations from the professors. But there was one main key thing that had to be submitted. 14 years back, he had done his grade 8 with ABRSM, the fixed deposit. That came out from a dusty file, I'm sure, which was coming achar. You all know what is achar? Pickle. Somewhere, which had not been touched. It came out, he submitted that, and he could start his master's degree. The main prerequisite for cybersecurity PhD is a music degree. And what is accepted was ABRSM, not even the Royal Conservatory. Canada has their own music board, the Royal Conservatory. So, what I'm telling you, this fixed deposit never goes to waste. Okay? Start these exams. If you all are teachers, how many of you are teachers? One. Do these exams. Don't compare it with any other board. I'm telling you, that is what, I could be sitting happily at home, say, oh, because my knees pain, my ankles pain, oh, I have to climb up, even my hotel has this Mount Everest climb, and all that. I did not do it. I want to just give, I've reached a certain level. I want to give back to the society. Make you all aware. Right now, you all are just doing music for the sake of learning an instrument. I'm telling you what firstly benefit of music, because both sides of your brains are working, and two, the degree, how it's going to help you for your jobs or your university admissions. Especially when you're a school principal. Do that. I'm telling you, as a grandmother, I have booked my granddaughter and said, no Royal Conservatory, she's going to be 1 year old in August. So I said, she's going to start from 2.5, she's going to start, I told my son, he's going to start teaching something or other. So she'll do ABRS. Because there is so much to it. So I have seen it with my baby. Stanford is saying, oh, why aren't you sending? I said, no, I couldn't say because, we are a bit worried about America. But can you leave a college writing back to you again and again, but what is the, So we had sent her for a summer course, let's let her go for a summer course, but not as a full-time student. So this is what ABRSM is. I'm telling you, there is nothing, from my heart I'm talking to you as a mom, there's nothing better than this. As a representative, of course, I'm going to say, oh, my organization is the best. I gave you an example, sir, were you there? I gave an example of the examiner. No, today. Like we have examiners I was talking about, if you're the principal, if a student has not gone, he's a principal of a school, so I met him at the airport. So, we spoke about, if if a student has not done, the parent will come to say, just do something, just add 2 marks and pass the student. You know that pressure is always there. Just do it. It can't happen in ABRSM. That's why, our state is so bad. Somebody's got 110 here, and somebody's got 110 in Timbuktu or Chicago or anywhere. They are at that same level. Because when you are doing the examiner's marks on an iPad, it's on Wi-Fi. When they're marking you here during the exam, there are 2 more examiners sitting somewhere else in the world and are checking whether the exam is being done properly or not. Does that child really deserve the mark? Like Ahima is going to be there, Ahima will be having dinners with the examiner really every day, every second day. He'll become good friends with the examiner. Just for now, he cannot, he'll lose his job. He can't, because those other 2 have to agree to what marks he's giving. So this is ABRSM. Our examiners, I was talking about our examiner, in Bangalore I had 2-3 years back, I didn't know about this. A 70-year-old examiner who has been an examiner with the ABRSM for 35 years, Clarendon Clare. I said, oh great, have Christmas, my last day of exams usually is 19th December. Have fun, Christmas, New Year's, oh no Sonia, I'm nervous. I said, what? He was nervous because he had to do an exam in the 1st or 2nd week of January in piano grade 8 in another subject. 70 years old, 35 years of experience as an examiner. ABRSM will not continue with your license if you do not do exams in a different subject. So you see, we have to rural education. Abroad you have to keep updating yourself, your licenses and all. In India, once you're an engineer, once you're a doctor, you are there for good. No upgrading yourself. You have to keep renewing the licenses. So this is what is ABRSM all about. And if you have any questions, I'm all here to answer them. Anything in your local language you would like to speak?
Though I'm pretty late, let me repeat the first question.
Yes.
There are 2 areas. One, for beginners, total beginners don't know nothing about it. Like if you've shared in the report that they're going to conduct the exam somewhere in November. So for those people, maybe who just joined after the exams, are they qualified to appear there or not yet? Or, yeah, that's the first question.
So can I just have the initial books, the prep test books I've given you? So I've just shared with sir the prep test books, and I will share with you also. I'll give you the soft copies to begin with. Later you can order the hard copies, because for the exam we need the hard copy. Okay? I have the PDF copies, I think, because we have a book issue of getting it takes some time. So I share the PDFs at least that you can start your lesson plan. Okay? So there's this particular exam called the prep test book.
For the beginners, right?
Beginners. This is like your, just to show you to them. This is for the babies. They can be a 5-year-old to a 15-year-old. Okay? Here the child will come out with a certificate come what may. So it encourages the parent, the first certificate. They will come out. So you don't have to be worried that they're going to fail. This is your KG, like your baby level. Which year-old to a 15-year-old can do this exam. It's called the prep test. There is in guitar, there's the piano, there's in singing.
The age limit for this prep test, the
5-year-olds to 15-year-olds. I've had grandmothers also do that. Because you know what happens is when grandparents, children, how they don't want to practice, so to encourage the family, to encourage them, and the grandparent also. I have IAS officers doing it, my children. They do the exam. I've got IAS officers, they want to do something. Instead of going, sitting and drinking at a bar or something and just getting into trouble, you rather, as I said, it gives you so much of peace. We spoke about music. How when we sit in the tower, what is the first thing we do is put on the music system. When we are going for our prayers, how do we celebrate music? How do we celebrate our religion? By singing, with music. How we celebrate birthday with music, when we condolence speech with music and hymns. So it just soothes us. We were talking about a patient who had never spoken, and when somebody started strumming the guitar, guitar, he started singing. Live example, I know this person who did it for the dog. So this is what music does. It connects your brains. It just makes you calm and composed. And I'm so happy Arina, we were able to connect with Arina. Otherwise, we would not be able to start this year. We wouldn't be sitting here.
Thank you so much. And another.
No. This is the time. Talk. You're not even here for this. Yes.
One more thing that you just said about this piano, how many areas are there? How many?
So it depends how many. You also have to see what teachers we have. So we have what usually is done because of the teacher issue. We have the piano, the guitar, the classical guitar. Classical guitar for practice. Okay, singing. We have the recorder.
Singing is the vocals.
Singing is vocals, yes. Now there are two kinds of singing exams. One is the normal singing exam, it has a bit of classical, and the other one is the musical theatre exam. But both have the prep test book like this. I will share the prep test PDFs with you.
So means guitar, piano, it is like in Aizawl or in the Aizawl, let's say, we are mostly wanting to the guitars, pianos, and all that. No?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. So you do these. You have the recorder exams because it's a cheap instrument. You can carry it easily in your school bag. It's 600-700 rupees. And if you have a teacher, the thing is the teacher. But I think so. If these people are there, I mean, there are some teachers sitting here, who you can outsource.
Yeah, maybe I might talk more a little bit, maybe after the media, one-to-one maybe, so like about.
So take the subjects and then there's the violin. Okay. So take the subjects which are common. Don't take subjects which are not common here. Okay, we have the choir exam as well, sir. Okay, last night over dinner we were talking about it. So we have the initial level, the intermediate level and advanced level. I've given the repertoire to Ahima. You can go for the choir exam. You can have 10 to 15 people in one choir. The fees is also not much, it's about 14,000 rupees or something. And you can have 15 students, so means that each student will pay about 600-700 rupees. It's not expensive. And the whole choir gets the certificate. So I was saying maybe you could have, because this is so much Christian dominated with so much of choirs, you can have so many church choirs, school choirs, just come and do the exam, which is not going to take much of time. Within 1 month's time, 1.5 months' time, you'll be ready for the exam.
Then, ma'am, like we discussed, so the prep test, we can start somewhere soon. Maybe
You should start immediately, sir.
There will be fee for the exam, right?
Around, I think so this is done. I'll just go online and just give you your tentative dates. Okay. I'll just give you tentative dates. It is around beginning November. I guess I told you also.
Yeah, you told me somewhere in November.
Somewhere in November. I don't remember.
Yeah, like if they started maybe next month, this month is ending.
Yeah.
So maybe start in June. So how many months we have? June, July, August, September. Maybe 5 good months.
You can start. You can easily prep test and the what is it called, the choral exam. You can even initial and one you can do.
Yeah.
Somebody who's been learning music for some time, they can even do the initial and one also.
And one person, like for the prep test, one person goes just for one instrument.
Yes, sir. So that's going to be the exam.
Okay.
Ahima is going to report in this area of that you can't see what's happening.
We,
the parents and the teachers and students will be sitting here. Okay? One at a time they will go. I will give you a draw listing of how it is going to go. It starts at 9:30, ends at 5. 11 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 11 morning, 3 o'clock is the tea break for the exam, 15 minutes, 1 o'clock lunch break. But before that, and if a student goes, exam is for around 15 minutes, does the exam, come back. So they play, they perform, prep test, there's no oral training for initial and grade 1 and all that, there are even questions asked.
and is Ahima's team there as well? Ahima's team, they are qualified by.
Yes.
That's great.
I've got a very strong recommendation from, I work closely with Yamaha Music India because they've been my sponsors for a lot of concerts. And they said, ma'am, there is this one student, one teacher who wants to start an exam center. I contacted him.
And one more thing.
Yes,
Last
sir.
question.
Yes, sir.
What are the fees?
The fees, sir, can you just show the fees? For practice, about 6,000 or 7,000 rupees.
Ay, ang lumuay. Kina,
Okay, then we
i-download
can
niya.
discuss, alright?
I'll just share. I have my WhatsApp, I'll share the fee structure. It's in GBP, but you pay through your card.
No problem.
It will get automatically transferred into
Okay,
yours.
okay,
Just remember, it's in GBP. So say just in case it is going £100 and it's $60, £60 for the exam. Say approximately, because you know how the rate changes. Say 6,000 rupees. So 6,000 rupees goes to ABRSM, but when you use our card, Indian card, the Indian bank charges, if you notice when you choose your credit card, a bill comes at the end with taxes. Indian bank charges of about 600, 700 rupees.
That's for the exam fee.
Exactly. So don't get worried because you see on X, the exchange rate is showing 6,000, but the bill is coming to 6,700. So don't get worried, it will be 6,700 because the bank, for using your card, is charging you.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, first off, here in Missouri, ABRS is going to have like two main competitors in terms of the music, in terms of studying music. I mean, the fixed deposit thing is really cool. I've never thought about it that way, so that's really cool. But in terms of the
We
music,
have the other boards.
yeah, we have like Trinity College,
I know.
Rock School.
And I just hope, now may I just get out, drug schools don't even talk about it, you know, Trinity is coming there.
No, my main question is in terms of just the music.
Comparing them.
Yeah, have you done any analysis in terms of
Yes.
like how it stacks up to
For
the
example, I have a Pathways International School, the HOD of that department is a retired band master of the UK bands with a K. Our boss is King Charles, bottom line is that. We are the four Royal colleges, we are not any here. There is a Trinity University, but nothing to do with Trinity, Laban with Trinity. It's nothing. So we have the four Royal colleges. So our bandmaster of Pathways, and I am going to speak his language, please excuse me, but I'm going to use his language. He said, so, how can there were teachers in this Pathway school doing Trinity? I said, oh yeah, I know, in India, Trinity, everybody does, because it's easy. You get people donating, everybody gets a distinction. Everybody gets a distinction. Okay? So, he says, Trinity is good. It's like toilet paper. You know, when we meet, in case if you'll come to Gurgaon, I want to come, we can come and do some workshops also. Then you hear it from this town. Then I do speak. Exams of, forget law school, we don't even know, forget that. But Trinity at one time was really good. I'm talking about 20, 30 years, it was credible. But now they bring it business mind. I'm just coming from Darjeeling and all that, and they tell them, you've got to give us, for one exam center, 11 to 12 lakhs of business, then only I'll make you an exam center. Means around 4 or 5 days of exams. I said, this is so badly ridiculous. What we ask the students, because we need to make it financially, people, the examiner comes, goes, we want to go with at least quits in the middle. Now, Trinity exams in London goes on for 1 week to 10 days. Entirely. In India, it goes on for months. Months. We are, as I told you, Singapore and all that are not accepting these degrees. Singapore is teaching their students only ABRS. And it is an education hub. Okay? While ABRSM exams in the UK, I'm talking about home country. You know, charity begins at home, goes on for months. The other day I needed a Zoom meeting. I said, oh, I need a Teams meeting with my practical team. So no, we have to sort out, there are some issues happening, but so, no. It goes on for months. But we Indians love the shortcut method, as Stanford University something easy, just take it, certificate that. So they are not seeing whether this fixed deposit is worth it or not. This certificate. Rock school, please don't even talk. Rock school teaching classical music.
Yeah,
Okay, so don't talk about rock school.
I got it. Kind of like a follow-up question to that is, I have informed you a little bit of the instruments that you can examine on. And one of the things I was interested was the upright bass, the double bass.
Yes, double bass.
Me being a bassist, I was wondering if there was if it was strictly just for double basses, or do we have anything for electric basses as well, or is
No,
it?
so classical guitar.
Understood.
Classical guitar. If you're talking about the double bass,
Yeah.
double bass, just the double bass, without it. I might tell them when we are small, what we do, we learn how to turn around, crawl, walk, run, and we take our limbs, our legs strong. And once our legs are strong, then we can venture out in football, basketball, tennis, cricket, anything. But the foundation of our limbs becoming strong is there. So what I believe in classical, if you do classical, you make your foundation strong. Your reading, sight reading, knowledge of things is strong. You have a good hold. And then when you reach a certain, you maneuver out into rock and pop, jazz, whatever you feel like. But if a person who starts jazz or rock and pop, I had a teacher in Siliguri. Oh no ma'am, I'm a very good teacher and that. I said, yeah, what do you teach? Saying one of the boards, I don't know which side. And I said, okay, but maybe, oh ma'am, but it will be difficult. I don't know, I've never done it. I said, easy, I'm giving you prep test. Which grades? You said, ma'am, 7 and 8. I said, I'm giving you prep test. No ma'am, I can't do it. Do you understand? They did not want to change. That change is so important. No. So I said, if you had done classical, you would have had the confidence, I can do it. Imagine a teacher for so many years. I said for grade 7 and 8, and very smartly he's coming and telling me, here's the prep test book, do the prep test. No. Then I said, now you want to grow, or you want to get bored, or you want to become a frustrated teacher in the next 5 years. He said, I want to grow. So I said, you just do it. Okay, so now let me see. This is the timetable that I have all. Adhima, I am looking at, yes, second, can you see how the blue line and eyes on?
Yeah.
But today we went and met another school also. Which is the school we met? Some school we met. Okay? And maybe some school get those 20 students. So if you can add more venues, then it is around these days. I'm not giving you a fixed date, but these are the days. Because of what I've moved is the gap drop system exams to another 2 hours. Tentatively around these dates I'm playing with. Aliganj and all that is final. This is Lucknow. I'm talking about here. We are looking at these days. You understand? Because my timetable, my entire timetable is already made. It's already done. I just have to publish it.
You got a question in there. About saxophone lang.
Yes, you can do saxophone, yes. There's saxophone jazz as well. But I won't have a jazz. You see, if you have to have a jazz examiner, you have to put a band because the classical examiner has to be trained in jazz as well. While if you were talking about the other board, if you said jazz exams, the same examiner does rock and pop, classical, jazz, everything. Okay. Okay. So